Hi everyone, this is Dr. J and we are going to draw cells. So I want you to draw these on the next blank pages in your GB notebook, so the little notebook that I provided for you. And I'm going through the parts of the cell chart as we work on talking about the parts of the cell. So you might want to have that out too. So the first cell we're going to draw is a prokaryote or prokaryotic cell. Remember, this means before a nucleus. So prokaryotes do not have nuclei, and the prokaryotes that you are most familiar with are bacteria, but there is also archaea, which means the ancient bacteria. And these bacteria are found in places like the Arctic and deep heat thermal vents and very extreme environments. But prokaryotes in general share some similar structures. So first of all, they are surrounded by a plasma membrane. And the function of a plasma membrane is to hold the contents inside of a cell. So it contains cell contents. And it also controls what goes in and out of a cell. And that is going to be the focus of next week: membrane transport, water movement, membranes, and lipids. Plasma membrane, the description is that it's a phospholipid bilayer. And these are some of the terms: phospholipid bilayer. These are some of the terms that we'll be talking about next week. Inside the plasma membrane is the cytoplasm. Okay. So the cytoplasm is the fluid. This would be more of the description. The fluid inside the cells, or inside the cell, yes. And its function is to allow for movement of organelles and proteins and ions, RNA, all of those things inside the cell. So it allows, well, and I guess prokaryotes don't have organelles, so I should say allows for movement of cell contents. All right, maybe I should change colors here. Okay. Prokaryotes do have DNA, and I'm drawing this squiggle of DNA in a circle, but it's a twisted circle. So this is the DNA. This is the chromosome. This is the genetic material. In prokaryotes, the DNA is circular. Why my pen's acting all weird. And we call this DNA area the nucleoid region. Okay. So it's not a nucleus, it's not a nucleolus, it's the nucleoid region. So the description is it's just a region of the cell where the chromosome is located. So it doesn't have a membrane like the nucleus, which we'll talk about. Whoops. It's just an area in the cell. All right, the next thing I'm going to draw are just some little green dots. And these are going to represent the ribosomes. Okay. And the ribosomes' function is to synthesize proteins or make proteins. Okay. And the description is that a ribosome is made of protein and RNA. Okay. And ribosomes can be free-floating or, as we'll talk about in eukaryotic cells, they can also be attached to the rough ER. So we'll write that later. Okay. Whoops. All right. The next thing we're going to draw is outside the plasma membrane. Okay. And this, I don't know what's going on with my... Oops, that's not what I wanted. Oh, why my pen is going so slow. This is called... Oh, goodness. Okay, we'll switch to green. This is called the cell wall. So the thing I drew in yellow is called a cell wall. And this really drives me crazy. In prokaryotes, the cell wall is made of something called peptidoglycan. I can't even see what I'm writing. Peptidoglycan. I don't know why I love saying peptidoglycan. It just kind of rolls off your tongue. The cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan for prokaryotes. Peptidoglycan means peptides and glycan means sugar, so it's made up of proteins and sugar. And its function is protection. So it can protect the bacterial cell from drying out. It can give it structure. It can protect it somewhat from the environment. Okay, so we've got plasma membrane, we've got cytoplasm, we've got ribosomes, we have cell wall, we have our nucleoid region. The last two features that are in prokaryotes that can be, okay, are flagella. Okay, so I'm going to draw a couple purple. I'm going to write it down here because I don't have room. Purple is flagella. Flagellum is singular. Flagella are long protein fibers outside of the cell. I have no idea what's going on with my pen. I don't know if I need a new battery. Okay. So they're like a tail, kind of, and they are for, let's see if I can write down here, I don't think so. Flagella are for movement. I'm going to try to switch out batteries just a second. Not all bacterial cells have flagella, okay, but some do. So it could be a characteristic of a bacterial cell. Some bacterial cells also have something called pili. So we're going to draw these as short little things. And they're called pili. And they are also a protein coat, a protein fiber. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I can get my pen to work better. Nope. So they are a protein fiber. They're short. I'm going to write in here, sorry. Okay, they're short little fibers, and their function is to help the bacteria cell adhere or stick to its environment. So E. coli have pili that stick out and allow them to stick to your gut, so that they don't get washed away every time you go to the bathroom, and they can stay there and live and help you digest food. Okay, so we have the different parts of a prokaryotic cell. You can see the way we represent them. So if I show you pictures, ribosomes will look like little dots at this point, and a plasma membrane will look like a line around the outside of the cell, etc. All right, I'm going to stop the recording here, and I'm going to try to see if I can get my pen to work better, and we will do eukaryotic cells in the next video.